Speaking test instructions. The speaking test is 20 minutes. There are 8 tasks in the speaking test. Please try your best to answer all the questions.
Start speaking now. Time is up. 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 Start speaking now. Time is up.
Andrew. Writing recommendation letters creates an ethical dilemma between honesty and compassion that many professionals struggle with. Nevertheless, you need to consider the consequences of your letter for multiple stakeholders, not just your former colleague. First and foremost, writing an overly positive recommendation for someone who was merely adequate could harm the hiring organization if they make employment decisions based on misleading information you provided. Furthermore, your professional reputation and credibility depend on the accuracy of your recommendations. And if you develop a pattern of inflating qualifications, future letters you write won't carry weight with employers who learn to distrust your assessments. Additionally, if your former colleague gets hired based on exaggerated qualifications and then performs poorly, it could actually damage their career more than not getting this particular position, as they might struggle in a role beyond their capabilities. Moreover, you have ethical obligations to be truthful in professional communications, and deliberately misrepresenting someone's qualifications could be considered dishonest even if motivated by compassion. Although you want to help your colleague and understand they need this position, consider whether setting them up for potential failure in a role they're not qualified for truly serves their long-term interests. Consequently, I'd recommend either writing an honest letter that highlights your colleague's genuine strengths and potential while being truthful about their performance level, or declining to write the letter if you can't provide a genuinely positive recommendation. Additionally, you could have a frank conversation with your colleague about your concerns and suggest they ask someone else who might be able to provide stronger endorsement. Despite the short-term disappointment, honest communication and realistic assessment serve everyone's interests better than misleading recommendations that could backfire for multiple parties. The key is finding ways to be supportive and kind while maintaining professional integrity and truthfulness. 2 years ago, I was assigned to co-lead a product launch project with a colleague named Michael who had a completely opposite work style from mine. I'm naturally detail-oriented, prefer extensive planning, work through comprehensive written documentation, and like to complete tasks well ahead of deadlines to allow time for review and revision. Furthermore, I tend to work independently and then share completed drafts rather than collaborating in real time. Michael, in contrast, was spontaneous and improvisational, preferred verbal brainstorming over written plans, worked best under deadline pressure, and thrived on collaborative real-time work sessions. Additionally, Michael would frequently change direction mid-project based on new ideas or feedback. While I found this approach chaotic and inefficient, the challenges were significant and immediate. Michael felt constrained and micromanaged by my detailed project plans and timelines, while I felt anxious and unprepared by his preference for last-minute work and constant pivoting. Moreover, our communication styles clashed. I would send lengthy emails outlining plans and decisions, which Michael rarely read completely, while he would suggest major changes during casual hallway conversations that I felt weren't properly documented or thought through. The tension affected our working relationship and project progress. To make the collaboration successful, I initiated an honest conversation where we each explained our working styles without judgment and acknowledged that neither approach was inherently better or worse. Moreover, we developed hybrid workflows that incorporated both styles. I created structural frameworks and timelines that provided the organization I needed, while Michael led brainstorming sessions and brought creative flexibility within those frameworks. Additionally, we divided responsibilities based on our strengths rather than trying to collaborate equally on everything. I handled detailed documentation, timeline management, and stakeholder communication, while Michael led creative development and client presentations. We also established communication protocols that worked for both of us, including weekly in-person check-ins for Michael's preference for verbal discussion plus written follow-up summaries for my documentation needs. The product launch was ultimately very successful, and we both learned valuable lessons. I discovered that Michael's flexibility and creative thinking actually improved our final product beyond what my careful planning alone would have achieved. This experience taught me that diverse work styles can be complementary rather than conflicting. When team members communicate openly and structure collaboration to leverage different strengths. This lively illustration depicts a bustling international airport departure terminal during peak travel season, where passengers from around the world are navigating the complex journey from check-in to their boarding gates. The spacious terminal features high ceilings with modern architectural elements, large windows allowing natural light to flood the space, and multiple electronic departure boards displaying real-time flight information. In the foreground, a family of 4 is gathered around a self-service check-in kiosk, with the father scanning passports while the mother supervises their excited children who are wearing matching backpacks decorated with cartoon characters. Meanwhile, a solo business traveler in a navy blazer is rushing past with a rolling carry-on suitcase, checking her watch anxiously while speaking into wireless earbuds about a potentially missed connection. On the right side of the scene, security personnel in uniform are directing passengers toward screening lanes, where travelers are removing shoes, belts, and laptops in preparation for the security checkpoint. Additionally, a couple embracing near the departure area appears to be sharing an emotional goodbye, with one partner holding a boarding pass while the other wipes away tears. The background reveals duty-free shopping areas with illuminated displays of luxury goods, several coffee shops with long queues of caffeine-seeking travelers, and gate lounges where early arrivals have claimed seats near charging stations for their electronic devices. Furthermore, ground crew members can be seen through the floor-to-ceiling windows servicing aircraft on the tarmac, adding to the operational complexity of air travel. What makes this transportation hub particularly fascinating is how it serves as a global crossroads, where countless personal journeys intersect. Business trips, family reunions, dream vacations, and life transitions, all converging in a carefully orchestrated system designed to move millions of people safely across vast distances. Initially, travelers will continue checking the departure boards to monitor their flight status and gate assignments, whereas the professional businesswoman will proceed confidently toward her designated boarding gate. Subsequently, the family with young children will likely complete their self-service check-in process before heading to security screening, while simultaneously, passengers at the coffee shop will finish their beverages and gather their belongings for boarding. Meanwhile, security personnel will maintain vigilant oversight of the terminal to ensure passenger safety and orderly procedures, and consequently, some travelers might be randomly selected for additional screening protocols. Furthermore, as boarding times approach, announcements will presumably echo through the terminal directing passengers to their respective gates. Despite the bustling airport environment, the modern architectural design with expansive glass windows creates an open and less stressful atmosphere. Nevertheless, some anxious flyers will experience pre-flight jitters. In addition, the duty-free shop will continue attracting travelers seeking last-minute gifts or luxury items at tax-exempt prices. In conclusion, this efficient international airport terminal will maintain its smooth operations throughout the day, facilitating thousands of departures and arrivals while connecting people across continents for business, tourism, and family reunions. Jennifer, I understand your preference for giving a handmade or personalized gift to Sarah and Tom. But I believe purchasing the expensive registry item represents the better choice for their wedding gift. First and foremost, the couple took time to carefully create a registry with items they specifically want and need. And choosing from that list demonstrates respect for their preferences and practical needs as they establish their household together. Furthermore, high-quality kitchen appliances like the one they've registered for are expensive items that couples often cannot afford to purchase themselves but will use regularly for years, making this gift both practical and valuable to their daily lives. Additionally, registry gifts eliminate the risk of giving something the couple doesn't want, won't use, or that doesn't match their aesthetic preferences or existing household items. Moreover, while the cost represents a budget stretch for me, this is my cousin's wedding, a significant life milestone, and the generous gift reflects the importance of our family relationship and my genuine happiness for their marriage. Although handmade gifts have sentimental value, consider that not everyone appreciates handcrafted items equally, and there's significant risk that a personalized gift might not align with the couple's taste, home decor style, or practical needs. Consequently, spending money on a high-quality item they specifically requested ensures my gift will be appreciated, used, and valued rather than potentially stored away or regifted because it doesn't fit their lifestyle. Despite the cash option being flexible, registry items show more thoughtfulness because I took time to select something specific they wanted rather than taking the easy route of money. Additionally, opening a beautifully wrapped registry item at their wedding or during gift opening creates a more memorable moment than a card with cash. Don't you think giving exactly what the couple asked for demonstrates more consideration than imposing my own creative vision on their wedding gift? Jennifer, while I appreciate the appeal of purchasing a registry item, I strongly believe that giving cash or a gift card represents the most practical and genuinely helpful choice for Sarah and Tom's wedding gift. First and foremost, cash provides maximum flexibility, allowing the couple to use the money for their highest priorities, whether that's honeymoon expenses, down payment savings, paying off wedding costs, or purchasing items they need but didn't include on their registry. Furthermore, many modern couples already live together before marriage and have established households with most basic items, meaning they often need financial contribution more than additional household goods. Additionally, while the expensive kitchen appliance is on their registry, I don't actually know if it's their top priority or just something they added to give guests options. Whereas cash lets them decide what matters most to them right now. Moreover, gift cards to stores where they're registered or to home improvement stores provide similar flexibility while still feeling slightly more personal than cash if that's a concern. Although some people consider cash gifts less thoughtful, consider that the outdated notion that money is impersonal ignores the reality that financial support is often the most meaningful and useful gift couples receive. Consequently, giving a generous cash gift actually demonstrates more consideration for the couple's real needs, rather than assuming I know better than they do about what kitchen appliances deserve priority in their budget. Despite the handmade option having sentimental appeal, personalized gifts create risk of mismatched preferences and might add clutter to their home. The registry item, while safe, locks my gift budget into one specific item that might not be their most important need. Don't you think empowering the couple to make their own choices about how to use their wedding gifts shows more respect for their autonomy and judgment? David, I need to talk with you about your birthday party next month. And I want to be completely honest with you about a difficult scheduling conflict I'm facing. First and foremost, please know that you're one of my closest friends, and celebrating your milestone 40th birthday with you is genuinely important to me. Nevertheless, I've just learned that my industry's annual networking summit, the most prestigious event in our field, has been scheduled for the same evening as your party. Furthermore, this isn't just any networking event but the specific gathering where major industry leaders, potential employers, and influential contacts all come together. And my mentor has emphasized that attending could significantly impact my career trajectory. Additionally, I've been trying to make connections with several specific people who will be at this event. And missing it means waiting another full year for the next opportunity to meet them in this concentrated professional setting. Moreover, my mentor has indicated that several people specifically want to meet me at this event based on my recent work, suggesting this represents a critical career opportunity that might not be available later. Although I'm devastated to miss your celebration, I'm hoping you can understand that this conflict represents an unfortunate collision between my personal life and a rare professional opportunity. Consequently, I want to propose celebrating your birthday with you in a different way. Perhaps I could take you to dinner the following week, or organize a separate smaller celebration where we have quality time together without the constraints of a large party. Additionally, I'll be thinking of you during your party and would love to arrange a video call during the evening, if possible, so I can at least virtually toast to this milestone. Despite choosing the networking event, I want you to know this decision doesn't reflect the value of our friendship but rather the unfortunate reality of a scheduling conflict with significant professional implications. I truly hope you can forgive me and understand this difficult choice. Rebecca, I wanted to discuss the networking summit next month and explain why I need to decline attendance, despite understanding its professional importance. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge that you've invested time in mentoring me and that you genuinely believe this event could advance my career, and I'm grateful for your guidance and support. Nevertheless, the event is scheduled for the same evening as my close friend David's 40th birthday party, which represents a significant personal commitment I cannot break. Furthermore, David is one of my oldest and closest friends who has supported me through numerous personal and professional challenges over 15 years of friendship. Additionally, David specifically told me how much it means to him that I attend this milestone celebration. And he's planned this party months in advance with the expectation that his closest friends would prioritize attendance. Moreover, while the networking summit happens annually and presumably I could attend next year, David only turns 40 once. And missing this specific milestone would damage our friendship in ways that might not be repairable. Although I understand this event offers valuable professional connections, consider that my career will span decades and other networking opportunities will arise. Whereas personal relationships require consistent investment and presence during important moments. Consequently, I believe that maintaining strong personal relationships and demonstrating loyalty to friends who've supported me represents a value that should sometimes take priority over professional advancement opportunities. Additionally, I'm hoping that my overall strong performance, dedication, and the professional relationships I've already built might mean that missing this single event, while unfortunate, won't permanently damage my career prospects. Despite recognizing this decision might have professional consequences, I believe that life balance requires sometimes choosing personal commitments over career opportunities. Would you be able to help me identify alternative ways to connect with the key people who'll be at this event, perhaps through individual meetings or smaller gatherings that don't conflict with my personal obligations? Athletes should not be allowed to use performance-enhancing substances in professional sports even with full transparency, as this policy would create serious problems despite seeming to address concerns about fairness through disclosure. First and foremost, allowing performance-enhancing drugs with transparency would create immense pressure on all athletes to use these substances to remain competitive, effectively making drug use mandatory rather than optional for anyone serious about professional success. Furthermore, many performance-enhancing substances carry significant health risks including cardiovascular problems, hormonal imbalances, and psychological effects, and permitting their use would essentially require athletes to damage their health to compete professionally. Additionally, younger athletes and those aspiring to professional sports would face pressure to begin using dangerous substances earlier in their careers to develop competitive advantages, potentially causing serious harm during crucial developmental years. Moreover, transparency doesn't address the fundamental unfairness created when success depends on access to expensive medical protocols and substances rather than natural talent, training dedication, and athletic skill. Although prohibition hasn't eliminated performance-enhancing drug use in sports, this doesn't mean we should abandon the principle that athletic competition should test human capability rather than pharmaceutical advancement. Consequently, maintaining prohibitions on performance-enhancing substances preserves the ideal that sports showcase athletic excellence, dedication, and natural human potential rather than becoming competitions about who has the best drug protocols and medical support. Additionally, allowing these substances would likely create a technological arms race where sports become increasingly dangerous as athletes and their medical teams push boundaries of human enhancement with unknown long-term consequences. Some argue that since many athletes already use these substances secretly, legalization with transparency would at least ensure safety monitoring. But this reasoning essentially abandons efforts to protect clean athletes and preserve competitive integrity. Therefore, while current anti-doping systems are imperfect and some athletes evade detection, maintaining clear prohibitions on performance-enhancing substances remains essential for protecting athlete health, preserving competitive fairness, and maintaining the fundamental nature of athletic competition as a test of human excellence rather than pharmaceutical innovation. Dad, I just found the most incredible clock at the downtown craft fair that would fit perfectly in your collection. While walking around with Patricia, I discovered this absolutely extraordinary handcrafted timepiece designed to look like a tree with the clock face embedded right in the trunk. Instead of regular numbers, each hour is marked by a different type of carved wooden bird perched on miniature branches that extend from the clock face. What makes this truly spectacular is how the pendulum is designed as a small wooden owl that swings back and forth beneath the main trunk. And every hour, different bird calls play corresponding to whichever bird marks that specific time. Furthermore, the entire piece is hand-carved from a single piece of walnut wood with such intricate detail that you can see individual feathers on each bird and realistic bark texture on the trunk. Not only does it keep perfect time with a German-made mechanical movement, but the craftsmanship is absolutely museum quality with hand-rubbed oil finishes that bring out the natural wood grain beautifully. The artisan mentioned it took nearly 4 months to complete because each bird required separate carving and the sound mechanism had to be custom programmed with authentic bird songs. Unfortunately, they don't allow any photography at their booth to prevent design theft since these are one-of-a-kind pieces. Given your extensive clock collection and your passion for birdwatching, this tree bird clock seems like it was made specifically for you. Should I inquire about the price and potential shipping arrangements?